blindsided, and I feel a pit growing in my stomach. I'm reading a 13-page letter of complaints and accusations from a member of our work team. I had gone out of my way to meet in person just days before, and I'd asked directly if they had any issues. They shared none. Then, out of nowhere, comes this massive written litany of problems. Conversation by conversation, all recorded in writing. Degrading comments made about me and other team members. Planning to share confidential client information behind my back. Conspiring, casting doubt, and disbelief about changes we were implementing at the company. In my business of real estate and title consulting for renewable energy projects, we pride ourselves on delivering results for our clients. I'd had concerns about this hire's integrity from the beginning. My gut told me something was off. I ignored the signals and instead hired just for great skills. More recently, I dismissed the few complaints that reached me as one-off comments. Big mistake. I felt like I'd let myself and my employees down. Why hadn't I dug deeper to identify the gap between their work ethic and their output? Why didn't I pay more attention to the fact that they weren't coachable or open to input? As I sat with this devastating letter, I heard old voices of doubt and confusion. You're a career employee, not an entrepreneur. You like paychecks and certainty. What do you know about starting and running a business? Everyone looked to me to have answers, and I felt lost and inadequate because I didn't have them. I wanted to slip into oblivion. I woke up at night tossing and turning, thoughts in a million directions running through worst-case scenarios. What about the potential for lost revenues and legal challenges looming over my head at a time when we could least afford it? Isn't it enough that we're in the middle of a pandemic? And now this. Shortly before I'd received this letter, we had proudly summed up the values of my company, TerraPro Solutions. And then, bam, right out the gate, it felt like those values were being tested. Those values framed who I am as a leader and what I stand for. I would not work in a vacuum. I would create a culture of truth, openness, and integrity, where employees were valued for their humanness and their intelligence, not just their ability to deliver results for clients. I had vowed to eliminate the demoralizing effects of hiring when the numbers were up, firing when the numbers came down. I would create something vision-driven and lasting so that other women could build their careers too. I would prioritize people over profit. I recalled why I had started the business in the first place 10 years ago. On my own, with no partners and no investors, in the midst of a bitter divorce following a 25-year marriage. I made the decision after a final job interview, just as I was about to sign an agreement to go work for another company. But it didn't feel right. Why was I going to work for someone else again? Now, a decade into owning my own enterprise, my team of 20 and I are considered leading experts in the field of renewable development, where only 13% of the workforce is women. Yet, here I sat with this letter wondering, What kind of leader am I? Do these values really mean something, or are they just words? Am I really going to prioritize people over profit in the middle of a pandemic and falling revenues? Prioritizing profit would mean maintaining the industry status quo. But that didn't feel right. What about the alternative? If we put people first, what would that mean for the business? We were already struggling. What about the people who looked up to me as a leader? Would they still respect me? Would I lose people if they felt like they could no longer believe in me? What about our reputation of integrity that I had worked so hard to build? As I thought about the other leaders that had let me down, I felt like this moment and this decision would define me. Did I have the courage to stifle those voices? I knew I had to take the much harder from what if to now what path. No finger pointing. I would have to get into the trenches, have the hard conversations, make the hard decisions. They would not win. I would find my fears. I would get really clear on who I was as a leader. I would stop talking and start practicing purposeful listening. I would clarify my intent before I started conversations. I would emphasize strengths, goodness, and virtues in people rather than their weaknesses. I wish I could tell you that we didn't lose money, but we did. Almost $500,000. I wish I could say that I felt better right away, but I didn't. I wish I could say I woke up every day and it was way easier, but it was not. The remaining months continued to be very difficult as we struggled with falling revenues and to retain our employees. I had crystal plaques made with our values engraved, and I sent them to all the employees to emphasize their importance. Be a good human. Meet me in the trenches. Be a TerraPro, always professional, always kind. Be the solution. But these aren't just words on the wall now. We live these values. We openly share them with our teams, with our clients, and on our website so that everyone knows who we are and what we stand for. I fought through the doubts and the challenges to come out stronger. I moved into and through the difficulty and kept working. I made the hard decisions. I prioritized the needs of our clients so that the results could speak for themselves. I'm so happy to tell you that the client at the heart of the dispute called recently, and they want to come work with us. We have the kind of company and culture that they want to work for. I feel vindicated. The organization at the center of the dispute has quadrupled the number of projects entrusted to our firm. We became and are staying open for business. We found our fears. I encourage you to find your fierce, the stand that you're willing to take for your business and for your life. I believe we are not put on this planet just to mark time. We are here to make our mark.